Come, sit.
Chronos Before the Ashes is the latest work from Gunfire Games and publisher THQ Nordic, which will be released on December 1st for Nintendo Switch. The latest action RPG from the Darksiders 3 developers works as a kind of prequel to Remnant from the Ashes. But the game is not quite that new. Strictly speaking, it is a former VR game which has now been adapted for regular consoles. An old woman tells about old times, when mankind still had something like a civilization. In the background are the remains of skyscrapers. But then came the monsters. Several heroes sharpened their blades, unsuccessfully. Now it is up to the player to confront the evil. With sword and shield through the post-apocalypse? Not at all. After a tour through the ruins of a research laboratory, you activate a teleportation stone, which catapults the hero into a classic fantasy world. And even if it's about dragons, cyclopses and princesses, at least the modern day level puts them into a fresh context, which I can't explain further due to spoilers. However, the story, which is characterized by diary entries and short cutscenes, is rather perceived as background splatter. 5 upgradable weapons with different types of attacks let opponents die, and potions replenish the life and energy bar. If you die, you return to the world via teleportation stones. Only you are then 1 year older and the opponents are all alive again. Behind this, there's actually an interesting idea. Out of the 4 basic stats of strength, skill, health and magic, you can increase the first 3 values at a young age. Magic stones with different abilities can increase the attack or take away life points from the opponent. And if you are old and wise enough, you may increase your Arcana stat and thus increase the effect of those magic stones. So if you die too often, you get a bonus. This would be a well thought out principle if the other stats would go down at a high age. On the one hand, you need more ascent points later, for example to increase your strength, and you can also see your character aging before your very eyes. On the other hand, you're as fit as ever as a 70-year-old. Compared to the VR version, some changes have been made. First of all, the camera is no longer fixed at one point, but instead a standard third-person view. Secondly, a stamina bar has been implemented. With this, the game slides a bit into the Souls-like genre. The difficulty level of Chronos is a bit lower compared to other genre veterans like Dark Souls itself. This is also due to the attack variations of the enemies, which you can see through rather quickly. On the other hand, you look up in amazement and enjoy the very distinctive style when you walk through the cubic design of the Nordic halls and meet the stone-armored one-eyed guardians. The structure of the castle, the paths of the forest and the layout of the labyrinth are chosen in such a way that one can always make progress by taking shortcuts, which reduces the frustration of passing and wandering through again. The enemy types are also fantastically designed and constantly differ in their nature or choice of weapons. The game runs on the Switch with 30 FPS and does this mostly without jerking. In a few cases there were frame rate drops. And of course the Switch can't keep up with other versions in terms of graphics due to the weaker hardware, but due to the art style we still have a nice role-playing game which is also convincing in handheld mode. So let's come to a conclusion. If you can ignore the hardware limitations such as low resolution textures, you can expect a fun action RPG with an art style that takes some getting used to, but is beautiful. Some weaknesses in storytelling are compensated by well-staged boss fights and clever level design. Therefore, the price of €30 is very fair. For these reasons, I rate Chronos Before the Ashes for the Nintendo Switch a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you liked it, we would be very happy about a like and a subscription. Or if you're interested in getting early access to our future reviews, feel free to visit our Patreon page.
I'm a fool for your love.